Welcome to my channel Living Librarian. I'm your host Dave. I'll be sharing knowledge about consciousness, spirituality, and life. Stay tuned.
Where does abundance come from? By Hope Fitzgerald. To answer the question, where does abundance come from, will take more than one newsletter, so I'm going to start with part 1. My guess is you've already heard about or played with the law of attraction, most famously used by Esther Hicks as well as the 2006 film The Secret, though neither were the origin of the concept. To discover that, you'll need to go back, way back. To keep it short and sweet, I'll borrow from blogger Michael Bowles, who sums the history up well. A long time ago, Homer wrote a book called the Iliad. In it, Homer implies the principles of the law of attraction. He did not invent the principles, but only repeated what had been handed down from the antiquities, pre-writing. We see reiteration from Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and the vast writings of Epicurus and Epictetus. Men are not disturbed by things, but by the view which they take of them. We pass by many great writers of fact and of fiction to Buddha. With our thoughts, we make the world. Soon we're arriving in biblical times and quoting Mark 7 verse 15, "There is nothing outside a person that by going into him can defile him, but the things that come out of a person," and Proverbs 23 verse 7, "For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." We soon discover Thomas Aquinas, Desiderius Erasmus, René Descartes, Voltaire, Emerson, "A man is what he thinks about," and Margaret Fuller, "Say to yourself, I, too, am beautiful." Thoreau wrote, "The question is not what you look at, but what you see." There are more contemporary writers, philosophers, and self-help authors and speakers, such as Prentice Mulford, in 1889, Thoughts Are Things, and in 1891, Some Laws of Health and Beauty and Good, Ernest Holmes, Norman Vincent Peale, Change Your Thoughts and You Change Your World, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and currently, Tony Robinson and even Bryan Adams, with like attracts like, "Whatever the conscious mind thinks and believes, the subconscious identically creates." The law of attraction and its principles have been in circulation for thousands of years. Really nothing new except terminology, awareness, and perceptions of said awarenesses. The law of attraction is as real as the air we breathe, the waters of the oceans, and the lives we live. Science, through brain scans and other operati, is proving the mind, body, and emotional, even spiritual connections. So, as you can see, what we have dubbed the law of attraction is something we realize exists in and of itself, and not something invented by any particular person. It has been woven into our existence since time began, and as such, is a dependable operating system that we can rely on. Once again, I hearken back to my lessons at Findhorn, where I first learned the law of manifestation. What was so mind-blowing to me at the time were the many examples of how this law worked for the intrepid folks who started the Findhorn experiment. Read the Findhorn Garden for more details. Their finances were so depleted that they were forced to find other methods for survival. Coached by Eileen Still, small voice, they learned how to ask the universe for exactly what they needed and over, precisely what they had asked for was delivered in a timely way. Any doubts they had shifted into faith as they understood that the universe truly was working with and through them. What a joy to arrive at this realization through experience. Naturally, I wanted to try it out for myself and, lo and behold, I began to receive responses to requests not just mildly, but in ways that were inexplicably perfect. This made a believer out of me, too, as I came to trust that the universe was on my side, ready and waiting to partner up. Not only that, but I learned that the universe has very deep pockets, it's infinite, after all. Over the years, I've added a few components to Findhorn's law of manifestation, which I'll share here in hopes that you'll try an experiment this month with infinite abundance. Step 1. Imagine a boomerang. As we know, no matter how high or far the boomerang is thrown, it must return to where it was thrown. This is the metaphor we use to send out and receive what we desire. Step 2. Summarize what you wish to manifest and write it down. Writing adds power to the request by moving it out of the abstract realm of ideas and into solid reality on a piece of paper. Step 3. Remember, in Proverbs 23 verse 7, it says, "As a man thinketh in his heart," interesting, isn't it, thinking in the heart? Biblical scholars, which I am not, may disagree with my interpretation, but in this instance, I believe that this speaks to how our emotions can add extra voltage to our request. Just taking a moment to emotionally experience how it will feel when you have what it was you asked for creates a resonance with that outcome that almost guarantees its arrival. Step 4. Send the metaphorical boomerang out with your request while in the emotional state of how it will feel when it returns. And let it go. No need to repeat the request, the cook has the order and will deliver it to you. If you wish, you can increase the level of receptivity in your resonant field by living as if your request has already arrived. Step 5. Take one step, however small, in the direction of what you desire. Make a phone call, send an email, do some research, whatever. This signals to the universe that you're serious about it. You've probably already heard the story about how Jim Carrey, while he was flunking out of stand-up clubs in 1985, wrote himself a $10 million check dated for 1995 and stuck it in his wallet. Sure enough, in 1995 he received that exact amount for Dumb and Dumber. But he didn't sit around twiddling his fingers while 10 years went by. No, he got himself to LA and worked his tail off to get noticed. That's cooperation with the dream. That's partnership. So, have fun with this during the week/month and let me know how you do with the universal principle of infinite abundance. It's already yours. Infinite blessings. Hope.